day thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart, and this is So Much to Say YouTube TV. These are my thoughts in my voice on black shit, white shit, gay shit, and everything in between. So Much to Say YouTube TV is the place that you come to learn and grow, because we discuss socially relevant things mixed with a splash of humor. If you know you have tissue paper feelings, this probably isn't the channel for you. But and however, since you're here, I just need for you to do two things. Hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and turn on that little bell so that you get the notification every single time that I go live or upload something new. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Hey, I forgot something. Why your light so dark?
I don't know.
What you don't want the people to see?
You want it brighter?
Yeah, why your shit all dark?
I don't know. I'm trying to set the mood.
For what? I'm gay.
Don't act like you've never tried to fill me up before. Let's not do that.
So a passive.
Chat. Do I have to sign up to see the chat?
You don't see the conversation, you mean?
Yeah. But do I need to sign up so I can see it?
Sign up for what?
For StreamYard.
I don't know.
Oh, no, that's a chat with hosts and other guests. Okay.
I don't know why you can't see it. Let me hit this monetization button on this live, because I surely forgot to do that. That's why I had to run in there.
Is that better?
Yes, that's better. Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart, and this is the YouTube live version of So Much to Say. These are my thoughts in my voice on black shit, white shit, gay shit, and everything in between. Before we get started, I want to say thank you to Tanny Joy for sending me such a nice email. I wanted to tell you that I've been burning your candles. They're up here burning right now. I don't know if you can see them. See them right here? But I've been burning your candles. And you sent me this other one in a black tin. There's no label on it, so I don't know what fragrance it is or anything like that. But I really like it. It's a nice one. But thank you for your email. I appreciate it. I did read it. I meant to respond to it. This your first time at the rodeo?
I was trying to see the chat and I had to turn your voice down.
Thank you, Lois, for the Cash App. Okay, so look, Nikki and we said the other day that we were going to discuss Dave Chappelle's The Closer on Netflix. But then also we're going to talk about Our Kind of People. What does it come on, ABC or something?
Yeah, something like that.
I watch it on Hulu, so I don't know where it airs. But go ahead, Nikki, tell me what you thought. Because the reason that I knew about it was Nikki texted me the other day and was like, hey, have you watched Dave Chappelle's special? I said, I don't even know anything about it. I don't even know what it's called. And she said, it's called The Closer. I said, well, where is it airing? I said, I haven't heard about it. So she told me it was on Netflix. And she was like, can you hear me?
Yeah.
The sound ain't going there. And she was like, I want to see your opinion on it. They saying Our Kind of People comes on Fox. And so she's like, I want your opinion. And I was just like, okay. So I started watching it. They saying that Netflix has decided to pull it because the LGBTQIA community.
They really shouldn't.
In particular, the trans community.
I don't believe that they should.
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
I feel like the LGBTQIA people are always talking about how they want to be treated as equals. Comedians talk about everybody. Lisa Lampanelli talk about black men like it's crazy. It's damn near borderline racist. Everybody gets talked about. Why is it that anytime people say something, and let me preface that by saying this: not everything people say is right. Not everything that people say is politically correct. But you can't censor everybody. Those are their feelings. And I feel like in the special, first of all, he had already said that was going to be his last special for a while. He done already got his money and he done got paid. And he don't care about being canceled. You cannot cancel somebody who does not care. And then I feel like it further proves his point about you can kill somebody black and nobody cares, but the second you say anything about the LGBT, the whole alphabet game, then it's a wrap. It's shut down. And I feel like that they are just proving his point. And I don't feel like Netflix should take it down because Netflix screened that before they let it air. So they knew what was going to happen. So they don't need to do that. And I feel like we've already seen Dave walk away for what was it, 50 million from Comedy Central. He does not care. So I just feel like, he should be able to say what he wants to say. Do I feel like some of the jokes were a little bit, oh, wow, I can't believe he said that? Absolutely. But if that's how he feels, that's how he feels. But I feel like that's what comedians are supposed to do. They're supposed to push the envelope. They're supposed to make you think. They're supposed to make you laugh. And the good ones make you have deep conversations. And I feel like that's exactly what he's done, because ever since it's aired, that's all I've seen across social media.
I'm sorry. Oh, okay. I just got a report that Stacey Michelle is incorrect, that the special is still airing on Netflix. Can we get somebody to vet the reporters that are coming in here with this false information? But no, to your point, I agree. There was something that you said that I definitely wanted to touch on. Comedians are supposed to provoke us to think. And those of you that have been following me for a while, I've said so many different times, I believe that's what a writer or a creative or an artist is supposed to do. Provoke us to think. If you're a songwriter, you should write the kind of songs to make a person think, feel differently after hearing it. If you're a writer, after a person reads your work, your book, or sees your play or your movie or your television show, they should walk away feeling differently. Now, I say in Book of Jewels that we have become a society that is so politically correct that you can't say anything. And Riri Bless said in here a moment ago, he talked about everybody. He talked about Jews. He talked about white folks. He kept bringing it back to white folks. He said, no, I'm worried about the white folks. I'm worried about whites. He said, we can't trust y'all. Like, he just kept saying things like that. And then towards the end of the special, he talked about the gays. And I'm going to tell you something. When he said, remember in the 80s, all the gays walked around like they were surprised? That was true. I hollered because it was true. It was like the gays always walked around like, it was always like walking around with these stretched eyes. And so, yes, it's called The Closer. And so that was funny to me. So that was really when I started laughing, because up to that point, it was really like, and I was just talking to Chef Jack. I was on the phone with her. I was in the grocery store. I had a feeling for a little peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So I went there to get myself some jelly. And I said to her, I watched the whole thing. And I said, I didn't laugh the entire time, but I was engaged the entire time because he does smart comedy. It's almost a dry sense of comedy, dry humor, like Ellen. That's the reason why I love Ellen. Ellen's is dry. But you got to be a thinker, thought leader, progressive, and dreamer to follow the dream. To follow the joke. He's not like like Chef Jack said, he's not like a, what's the one that's always hating on Kevin Hart, the little short one with the perm?
Oh, Cat Williams. He's
not like a Cat Williams that's just telling like these jokes that are really, really specific to Black people, right? Because there are some comedians, Black comedians, who's in their jokes really, really are kind of germane to the Black community. Like, you got to be Black to kind of get it or have been around Black people. Where with him and with Ellen, it's thought-provoking. So that's why I said I enjoyed the entire show. I was engaged the entire show, but I only started laughing in the middle and towards the end because it was just brilliant, smart comedy. But when he started talking about the gays in the 80s, and then when he got to the part about the trans, it was just funny. It was funny. And my thing is, it's not just trans people. It's not just gay people. For me, the issue right now in society, every marginalized community has a sense of entitlement.
Yeah.
You can't talk about them. Whether you're talking about Black people, or you're talking about trans people, you're talking about gay people, or it's like, first of all, this is comedy. And remember, I've said this before, our comedians have always been like griots in the community.
Mm-hmm.
And for the people, and again, I'm not being funny when I say this, but for the people who are not familiar with the griot, Griot, those are storytellers. They've always been our storytellers, right? And I've said this before, like when Steve Harvey first came out and the Cedric the Entertainers and all those people like that, those comedians from back in the day, they were our storytellers, and they helped us deal with societal issues, and they brought awareness. And this is before social media. That's what our griots were. That's what our comedians were. But then what happens is, a lot of times when comedians get these big endorsements, they start to censor themselves because they're afraid that they're not going to get these endorsements anymore, right? And they're afraid they're not going to get this sponsorship because they're afraid to be offensive. Same thing with the white girl, Kathy, the one that held up the Trump head.
Kathy Hughes. I mean, not Kathy Hughes.
Kathy Hughes. She talking about the lady who owned Radio 1 and TV One. That's a whole Black woman, Kathy Griffin. Kathy Griffin. Now, I do think that was too far, holding up that Trump head. And, I ain't no Trump fan, but I thought that was too much. But I just feel like you should be able to. Now, it ain't like the situation with DaBaby, because DaBaby, you're a rapper. You shouldn't be on there talking about people got AIDS. Like, he didn't say that the trans people had AIDS.
I think his statements was just stupid. Not only was it stupid and unwarranted and uncalled for, he doubled down on it multiple times when
on
he
his Instagram.
took it back and apologized.
Right. She's talking about DaBaby now. She's talking about DaBaby.
Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. But I just feel like it's these fake woke people, and social media has given them a platform, and everybody is so offended. And it's like, how can all of these people that has watched South Park and the Boondocks
and my other show, what's the cartoon with it? You've Got AIDS, Family Guy.
Yeah, like, how is everybody so offended nowadays? What did you think about the comment as far as the J.K. Rowling turf?
Well, see, I had never heard of that until he explained it. I didn't even know that acronym existed. I don't even remember what it stands for, but I remember he said it was a community of naturally born women who have issue with trans women.
I don't know if it is necessarily an issue. Go ahead. I want to go ahead.
Well, because didn't he say that what's that acronym?
Trans exclusionary radical feminists.
TERF, right? And so it's something about them. Let me look it up real quick. Let me just look up TERF and see what it says on Google. I'll say TERF is an acronym for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminists. First recorded in 2008, originally applied to the minority of feminists espousing sentiments that other feminists considered transphobic, such as the rejection that trans women are women. So basically, TERFs are naturally born women who reject the idea that trans women are women. So, and I'll tell you like what Madison says all the time. She says, I'm not female, but I am a trans woman. She said, I wasn't born female, but I'm a trans woman. I live my life as a woman, that I feel biologically as a woman, so she distinguishes it that way. But I had never heard that term, I'll be honest. So he educated me watching that.
I remember when she made the comment, and of course, Twitter was had their pennies in a bunch, and everybody was talking about canceling her. And I think I don't have a problem with anybody. What I do have a problem with, though, is all of these changes that they are trying to make. Like now, instead of saying, what is it? Instead of saying,
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to distract you. Go ahead.
oh no, I second that. About like women who give birth. Now they're changing the term to, I forget what the term is, but it's like, in changing the term, and I get it, that just because you give birth, that doesn't just that doesn't take away from people who haven't given birth, who still raise people.
Mm-hmm.
But you still giving birth. Like they're changing so many terms to be all inclusive.
And I just don't think that you can ever be.
Yes.
So in other words, it's kind of like the original word was gay. Mm-hmm. Then, because I've sat on like panels, that it was like kind of like market research. This was back before I met Kim from over at Paid for Your Say and all of that. I remember being in my 20s in Aid Atlanta, which is a community-based organization here in Atlanta, and they work on prevention for HIV/AIDS in the community, and they also provide services for those that are infected with HIV/AIDS. But I remember they used to have these workshops and these panels that where they would have us come in. You had to be pulled. You'd have to be called in, and we would come up with different. They were trying to come up with different terminology for the word gay, because you have some men and women who don't feel a connection to the word gay. So with respect to men, they came up with terms like MSM, which stands for men who have sex with men. But then there are some men who don't identify with that. They don't like the idea of the word having sex with other men. So then they came with SGL, and I might be going wrong in the order. SGL may have come first, or MSM may have come first. I don't know. I'm just giving you an example. But then SGL came, and it was like same gender loving, because they were trying to be all inclusive.
That's the problem. That is the problem, right? You cannot please everybody.
Yes.
Let me tell you what I hate. And my niece is always trying to get me together on this. All of these pronouns, he, him, they, they. I'm not calling you they. They is for multiple people.
Why can't I look? Why can't I just call look? Wait, what?
You not a they.
But my thing is, look.
You can be a him, you can be a her, but you cannot be a they, them. That is not it. Now, if we're talking about a collective group of y'all can be they, y'all can be them, but you individually cannot be they. And I hate this pronoun stuff. People putting it in their email pronouns, her, she, me.
They put it in their, you mean they put it in their profiles now?
Yeah, it's in the emails, in corporate emails.
I've seen
they sent out, at one of my jobs, they sent out a form. What would you like your pronouns to be?
But listen, let me explain something to you. They and them are for people who, and I'm only explaining this to people who are watching who may not know why they and them. But it's for people who are considered or consider themselves non-binary. They don't consider themselves male. They don't consider themselves female. So they want to be called they or them. But here's the thing. Why not?
We're gonna call you it.
Why? No. My thing is, why can't we
have multiple personalities? You cannot be they them.
My thing is, why don't just call you by your name?
That part.
Why we can't just call you by your name? And my thing is, I'm only just saying this. I'm just playing devil's advocate, because my thing is this. I just feel like it's not that we're lazy to evolve, but it's almost too much to keep up with, because it's like people. I'm a part of the community, and there's certain things that, I mean, it took me a minute to kind of catch up with certain terminology like this they and then, and I was like, okay, wait, what are we doing now? Because the thing is, and then people get offended
when you don't remember,
or you don't know. It's just kind of like how we've had this conversation before on here, you guys, about Black history. When Juneteenth happened, there were a lot of Black people who were like, you don't know what Juneteenth is? You ain't never heard of Juneteenth? As if we all know all Black history. We don't. I knew what Juneteenth was, but there are a lot of people who didn't. You know what I'm saying? Just like we're still learning about certain contributions that Black people made in American society. But you shouldn't persecute somebody because they don't know. They just need to be educated. The same situation with this is what I'm saying. So it's not about being lazy to keep up with the times, but sometimes you just don't damn know. And people assume because you're a part of the community that you're supposed to know.
And every other month, something is changing. They adding to it, and I didn't even know that the gay community had 50 million flags with all of these different colors to represent each dang on group. And I got a lot of gay friends, and half of my gay friends didn't even know that it was all of these flags with all of
you
these
just educated me. I didn't know.
To all of these different, and it was like the one flag, it was like teal and mauve and something else, and then that was for the bi people, and then there was another flag, and I'm like, I get they're trying to be all inclusive, but you cannot please everybody. And I feel like in trying to please everybody, you're going to alienate a lot of people. This is a lot. This is a lot.
It's not hard to educate yourself.
But it's not. But what is wrong with your name? Why can I not call you by your name?
But my thing is nothing. It's not hard to educate yourself, but the assumption is that you're supposed to know everything. Nobody knows everything about everything, and so it's just like same thing with you. Simply Shy TV. You could go into a conversation and not be educated or informed on something. Somebody could say to you, "Well, why didn't you educate yourself?" Like it's just like we're all here to learn and grow, and that's why. And I've said this. I say it in Book of Jewels. There's a chapter called Difficult Conversations, and it's important to have difficult conversations because oftentimes we avoid difficult conversations because out of fear of sounding ignorant, of being accused. You understand what I'm saying? And so, for example, I think that there are conversations that white people want to have with people of color, but they avoid because they're afraid of being called ignorant, being called racist, or you know what I'm saying? I think there are instances that sometimes they do want to broach subjects with us. Same thing with trans people. I've said this so many times before. I've learned so much from Madison because she's given me the latitude to ask certain questions without being offended. Well, why are you asking me that? And so I say in this example, like with trans people, a lot of times the ignorance comes because there aren't many people like Madison. There aren't many trans people like Madison who are willing to have the conversation and not be so easily offended because you ask certain questions. Same thing about being gay. You got to have people who are willing to have the conversation and talk about it. Because if everybody who's gay, it's like, I don't want to talk. Why are you asking about that? That ain't none of your business who I'm sleeping with. But how do we educate each other across communities if nobody is willing to have the conversation?
And then there are so many everybody has such a different perspective or their perspective on what it is to be a trans person. Like, I think Dree's perspective is a lot different from Maddie's perspective. It's a lot different.
Not a monolith.
Perspective. And it's like, so talking to one person and getting their perspective and you think you got it, then you with somebody else, you say something, you done offended them because all you know is this one perspective. And it is a lot to take in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then here's the thing, back to the Dave Chappelle special. And the point that you just made is really a good point in terms of this, because I don't get with the whole intellectually lazy thing, because I say that about white folks all the time. It's intellectually lazy to still be questioning and wondering whether or not racism still exists. But that's a really good point to this point. And that is, you could have a conversation with Madison, and what offends Madison may not offend somebody else, or vice versa. But back to the whole trans segment in the show, in the Dave Chappelle show. What was the trans woman's name that he was referencing?
Daphne Doman.
Daphne. I thought it was such a really great point when he talked about, because we've all been ignorant about certain things at some point, right? Whether you're talking about sexuality or not. We've all had a lack of information. When I say ignorance, that's what I mean. When he talked about Daphne and how he respected her as a person and as a comedian and gave her the opportunity to open for him. And he said it, he told her that every time he comes to the Bay Area, every time Dave Chappelle goes to the Bay Area, Daphne could open for him. And then he also said how she defended him on Twitter. And the trans community attack Daphne. And what he said on there was really interesting to me because, like you said, we don't know Daphne's mental state because she ended up killing herself. She ended up committing suicide. We don't know Daphne's mental state. But the thing is, just like he said, I'm sure her mental state was fragile. But it didn't help that trans people were attacking her and dragging her, cyberbullying her on social media because she defended Dave. Because her perspective is different. And this is what I've said about Flame Monroe. I don't agree with everything Flame Monroe says about Black people, but there are trans people that don't agree with everything that she says about the trans experience. But I believe that her voice is just as important as a Madison's voice or as important as a Laverne Cox voice, because they're not going to be a monolith. Black people are not a monolith. But when Daphne killed herself, who's responsible for that? Let's just say she didn't suffer from mental illness. Let's just say, or some sort of depression or whatever. What if it was the cyberbullying that took her to the edge? Who's responsible for that?
And you know what? I went on Twitter and I went to her page and I was reading some of those comments. Like some of them were fresh because it made people go to her page. But once you got back to those, it was really harsh and it was really ugly. And it's almost as if it's like a gang.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it's kind of coming across. You can't say nothing. You can't joke about it because we're going to end you.
Mm-hmm. And it's almost like this expectation. And this is not just limited to LGBTQ stuff. I sometimes feel this about Black community stuff. It's almost like if you don't fall in line with what most Black people think, then all of a sudden your Blackness is called into question. Mm-hmm. Oh, how are you going to say that? Oh, you ain't really Black. No, I don't have to be along with you guys. And now we're starting to see it with this vaccine thing. You ain't vaccinated. Like, it's almost like people who got vaccinated are trying to have agency over the lives of people who have not. Mm-hmm. And I understand that there's a public outcry, and I understand that it's a pandemic. I understand all of that. But each individual has license and agency over their own life. I was watching the video the other day and they were like, but you didn't have this issue with polio vaccines and all these other vaccines. But, as I was thinking and watching it, just playing devil's advocate in my mind, every vaccine that I had, though, up to a certain age, my parents chose for me. I didn't get to decide on those vaccines. I've never had the flu vaccine. So my thing is, I understand that people are nervous and are afraid, and we want this pandemic to end, and we want people to be neighborly, if you will, and be mindful of other people's health. But it's like, you don't get to tell people that they have to get the vaccine.
It's just another way for us to be more divided.
Yeah.
And I think in our divisiveness, especially to that aspect, we are missing out on the even bigger picture, which is if you have to show a card or your phone to show that you've been vaccinated to go into a grocery store or to go into a bank, then you are no longer in a free and sovereign state anymore. Like, and if they can so liberally justify taking away my rights because I don't want a vaccine, then it's only a matter of time before they justify and mandate something else to that agenda.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that's fine. I do stay home, but I also wear my mask, and I shouldn't have to show a card to go to the grocery store. I mean, especially if it's still getting passed around.
But they even doing it with concerts now.
I know.
You can't even go to a concert.
Everybody that I know, especially this year, who have had COVID, is vaccinated.
Yeah, and before anybody get in here, saying, well, we understand that when you're vaccinated, that you have a greater chance of surviving and getting rid of the virus, but also, but you still can get it. Right. So my thing is, but they're now, it's almost like they're forcing people, because it's like you can't go to concerts now unless you present a negative COVID test or you show your vaccination card, and the same thing happened recently. Oh, I was going to this hot yoga place and they started requiring you to show your vaccine. They gave you a date. They put it like 2 weeks out, and they said, okay, starting on such and such date, you got to be vaccinated, and you had to email it to them, and they had to have it on file in order for you to continue to go there. And then what they did was, because it's a chain, they have other locations. What they did was they said, if you are not vaccinated, then these are the locations that you can go to. But if you're vaccinated, these are the locations that you can come to. Yeah.
Yeah. Woo, child. Everybody's pro-choice till it comes to this vaccination.
Right. Yeah. Somebody said, Paris said, you're going to need the vax card to move through the world. It's the new driver's license. Listen. Yes, indeed. It's definitely a form of bullying. It's ridiculous, really.
Listen, I don't mind sitting in my house. I actually missed last year being quarantined in the house, and I ain't have to go nowhere. That was the life. Hence why I still work from home. Amen.
We haven't even had the conversation of whether or not you're vaccinated or not.
Oh, I'm not.
Oh, you're not? Mm-hmm. And so you feel a way about it?
Yeah. Well, let me say this. It's not so much as the vaccine that I feel a way about. It's that, one, I've never seen our government in the history of our government do anything for the betterment of the people. That's first and foremost. And that makes me nervous. The pandering that they've done and the lengths that they've gone through. Like, did I send you that the commercial from Alabama where they got the drug dealer talking about, I'm a hustler. I mean, I sell things, and if I'm gonna be out here in these streets, then I need like it's the way that they're going about it that has me nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much the vaccine itself.
Right. It's the new segregation. Blacks are less likely to get. Yeah.
Yeah, but we have justification as to why we don't trust the government.
Right. And that was the other thing for me. Like when I saw Black people online saying to other Black people, y'all don't make no sense. Y'all over there smoking hookah, but you weren't about what's in the vaccine. Black people have a legitimate reason to be skeptical. There's a medical mistrust in a history of medical mistrust in this country. So it really burned me up that nobody said that. I never saw anybody publicly saying that on The View or any of these other places. It's like, well, don't be criticizing these Black people who didn't go.
In the beginning, though. In the beginning, when they first was talking about the vaccine, they were saying it like, we know, the African American community has, a reason for not wanting the vaccine, and they would reference the Tuskegee Experiment, because I had seen, plenty of people, and there were a bunch of people who didn't even know what the Tuskegee Experiment was.
Again, another piece of Black history that every Black person didn't know.
Right, but it's like
educate each other. You don't persecute somebody because they didn't know a piece of Black history. It's been kept from all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, go ahead.
It's just, I don't know. It's I don't know. These are crazy times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so tired of living through all of these firsts, honey. I'm worn out. I'm tired.
Okay, so look, I also wanted to talk about
our kind of people.
Our kind of people. I don't know if you guys have started watching. It's on Fox. I watched it on Hulu. This is the show. I said this before. This is the show that Derek J is the key hair person. For. He's working in North Carolina doing this hair. So, I'm curious to know what you think. I saw your post in the Facebook group, in the So Much to Say podcast pen pal group last week, I think it was, and you were like, "What y'all think about this episode?" Like, I just feel like it's just it's moving too fast. This is when the first episode aired.
Yes, I feel like Lee Daniels has this thing where he has great casting, great, like, amazing actors, but the writing is just not up to par. And I feel like with this show, he's giving us too much way too soon. In 3 episodes, we have gotten what should have been seasons. Like, it could have been drawn out. We should know everything that we know so soon.
Well, here's what I'm going to say about it.
Like, where are we going to go from here? Because we're already at the top. We're at the climax here. So
I'm with Black Rain. That's what I just said. Very much Tyler Perry. Like, I'm going to tell you something. I stopped watching Empire, I think, season 2.
Yeah,
because it was just too much. Like every time you looked up, they were throwing something else in the pot. It's like, you know, you got a really nice good soup, a really nice roux going, and then you just keep adding stuff to it. At some point, you just need to stop. With Empire, I felt like he kept adding more celebrities, more stars, more travesty. It was just too much. And I'm starting to feel like this.
Riri Bless said in here a moment ago.
You gonna turn it down? You gonna turn it down? She's sitting here playing the live back, and we sitting here on the live.
I was about to type a comment to David. He talked about, do anybody remember when seatbelts, when everybody was up in a roar about seatbelts, and I was about to say, no, I don't think I was alive then.
David, you really took it back. Yeah, okay. The seatbelts have always been a thing since I've been alive. I don't know how old you are. But yeah, I'm with Carl Smith. Empire was good the first season. The second season was when I fell off because it just started going down. And I'm just like, what is
this?
Yeah, it just started going left. And then here's the other part of it. I feel the same way about Star. Now, I know a lot of you love Star. Carlton worked on Star. I didn't know Carlton at the time. But I watched a half of the first episode of the first season of Star, and I said, oh, this is too much. And I cut it off. And that's what I'm feeling with this.
I tried to like it. I don't think I made it through the first season, though. Because I'm like, she's supposed to still be a teenager. How's she moving like this? And she's supposed to be like 16, 17 years old. Like, it just, to me, it didn't make sense. But it was a lot going on. I want to like this show. I really do, because the cast is amazing. I love me some Joe Morton. I love me some Debbie Morgan. But see, Durant, I feel like, can we go actually talk about it? If y'all haven't seen it, I'm about to ruin it for you, so my apologies. The fact that she found out that was her sister, why do we know that episode 1? That definitely could have been drawn out a lot. She could have worked a lot harder for that. You know what I mean? And then the second episode, I remember when I was 8 standing in the rain. Why couldn't she just have a couple of flashbacks leading up? Why does she just automatically remember that? You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't see it going anywhere now except for they're going to team up to get rid of the daddy. And then the rest of the series is going to be about them battling the daddy back and forth because we've got all of this.
Uh-huh.
Now, and we only on the 3rd episode and we know all of this.
Mm-hmm. In other words, the way that I always describe it is like if you start off on the mountaintop, you have nowhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then I always say it's important to spoon feed the story, like allow some sort of development.
Yeah.
And I don't really feel like the story has developed because, again, like you said, we learned so much in the first episode. And like this 3rd episode, I was trying to watch it. And when I say I cut it off midway through the story, like I was over it when Yaya was standing up there on stage with them braids coming to the front of her head like this. And she got up there. And,
how would they come?
When she got up there, and when she was basically saying, when she took the microphone, first of all, it didn't even seem realistic. Why would they have allowed her to get on stage with them? You understand what I'm saying? And for her, especially not knowing what she was going to say if she got hold of that microphone. But then she got up there and she started talking. It's that braid circle 1990. But my thing is, I just feel like I don't feel like they would have. That's a good point too. The title of the show is not inviting. I just felt like it didn't make sense for them to, especially the daughter, the one that's running the company. I definitely didn't think it made sense for her to let her get on there on the stage, not knowing that if she was gonna get on that microphone and say something or whatever. To me, that's when I just started to get like, okay, this is dumb. And then the fact that
it took all of that for you to feel like that. You didn't feel like that episodes 1 and 2.
I did, but I was, I try to give shows, especially a Black show. I try to give them a few episodes. But here's the other thing too. I'm so sick and tired of Yaya's daughter.
Yeah.
I'm sick of her. And I'm sick of these shows when somebody cuts you a check and you got so much ego and pride that you tear the check up. Because bitch, when I say I'd have took that check and I would have cashed it, and I still would have stayed over there in the Bluffs. How you gonna take the? And then when she cut her hand and put the blood on, like that was dumb. What black woman in her right mind doing that? Sitting there gonna dig a cut in her hand. What?
And then like even for the aunt knows something. She involved in something, but you still trying to hide it, knowing good and well this girl's stubborn and she gonna find out some stuff. Like I'm sad because I had such high hopes for this and I really wanted it to be good. And I need another show, something to replace Love Is, because we're not getting it back. And this is just, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I'm not really liking it. I know we didn't say we were going to discuss this, but have you been watching The Wonder Years? It's funny, he typed it and I was just saying it.
I haven't, because
I know two of the actresses on there.
Reboots. Can we get creative? Can they come up with, why do we keep getting reboots? I watched the original Wonder Years. I enjoyed it.
I did too. But you know what? Derek worked on that show too. He only worked on the pilot though. So he did the hair and stuff for the pilot. And then
Derek, I'm about to learn how to braid. I need a job. But that's it. That's all I could do is braid. I could bump the ends too.
Oh my God. But you know what? I actually like The Wonder Years. I know two of the actresses. They were in, those of you that read my first book, they were in the theater company that I used to write for when I first went to Atlanta, the Freddie Hinch's Youth Ensemble of Atlanta. Saquon, she's been on Broadway, and then Charity. She's done a lot of stuff too. But when I tell you, I really, I'm enjoying The Wonder Years, but it's kind of giving me Everybody Hates Chris, like the narration part of it, kind of. It kind of gives me a little bit of that. Not like it feels like it exactly, but it just kind of gives me nuances of it.
But I love Dule Hill anyway, and everything that he does. The guy, I think he plays the dad.
Oh yeah.
I love him in everything he does because he used to be on Psych, and that was my show.
He was on Black Love too.
Yeah,
my season.
Like I just love him, but I don't know. I'm just kind of tired of reboots.
Yeah, it's. Thank you so much, Gerald Green. But yeah, no, I mean.
Hey, Gerald.
Gerald said he's straight, so Nikki, she flirting now. Gerald, you single?
I don't know. I'm gonna watch it. What channel does it come on?
I don't know where it comes. I watched that on Hulu as well. Christine said, "Nikki, you showing your age? Nobody bump ends no more."
That's all I got, and I'm gonna learn how to braid, and then that's it.
That is too funny. Tyler Perry doing Sister Act. You know what?
We ain't got to worry about no wigs with all them habits going on. We ain't got to worry about no Tyler Perry wigs.
You know what show I forgot about, and I haven't watched it in weeks. Houston. What's my show? Married at First Sight, Houston. Carlton and I tried to get through The Equalizer. When I say that show is so campy.
I like The Equalizer. However, I don't see Queen Latifah as the Equalizer. I like her. I really do. But
she giving me a little too dumpy and slow for a superhero. Not a superhero, but you understand what I'm saying? Like she give me too, she's not agile and swift enough.
Well, big girls.
It's about her weight. Don't be putting that in my mind. It's about her weight.
That's exactly what we talking about. Her age, because you talking about one or the other.
No, I just feel like she don't look like she got a lot of rhythm either. Like when she dance, you know what I'm saying? So I just thought she ain't really smooth.
And her daughter get on my nerves in that show too.
Mine too.
With her nosy ass. Now, girl, you know good well your mama don't work for no charity.
Like Queen Latifah just doesn't feel athletic enough for me to be,
Yeah.
A crime stopper. Now, if she was just a cop, like a detective, but she doing stunt like it don't even look believable that she doing these stunts. Like Queen Dana. Dana, sit down. uh,
I don't know. You know what show I love, and I'm always rooting for the bad guy. The Blacklist.
wait a minute. I just noticed that when you shot your shot over there at Gerald, he disappeared. He didn't even say anything else.
I was shooting my shot. I just like whenever I see that name, it makes me think of the Golden Child,
What name?
Gerald.
Oh, wait. The Blacklist.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see that.
When they talk about Raymond Reddington, I love him. I'm always rooting for him to win.
I haven't seen that.
Really?
Mm-mm.
And it's been on what, like 8, 9 seasons now?
Really? They're saying they love it.
I do too. And I'm always rooting for him.
And see, I can't get into the morning show. I don't know if it's because it ain't enough black people on there or any black people.
What is the morning show?
It's on Apple TV.
Do we have that?
It's what's the girl's name? Jennifer Aniston. She's on there. I just don't know.
I'm ready for Insecure though. I've been
it comes on October what?
24th. I've been binge watching, getting all caught up so it can have everything fresh in my mind.
I probably need to catch up too. I probably need to binge watch it too, because I don't really remember where it left off.
When
Do you remember
pregnant?
Who?
Condola.
Oh, that's right. He impregnated the girl.
You know what? And I feel like all the shows that I love are not coming back for a second season. Like I am going to watch BMF. I haven't gotten there.
I started watching BMF, and I put it on for the first episode for about 2 minutes and turned it off. It looked too cheap to me. It had a poor production quality to me.
Do you watch Wu-Tang: The Saga Continues?
I watched the first season, but I haven't picked it up again.
I love it. I'm trying to wait because they do it weekly, so I need a couple of episodes to build up so I can go ahead and watch it. But I thought it was awesome first season.
They're saying Lovecraft Country is coming back.
On what? Because I know Misha got a deal, but Lovecraft Country belongs to HBO. So unless whoever gave her the deal is going to buy it from HBO, we're not going to get a second one. What, BMF is a B-rated show?
That shit looked terrible to me. I couldn't get into it.
I don't know. It's like the fact, and like even Watchmen is not coming back. And it's like all the shows that I really enjoy. It's not coming back. I don't even get excited about watching TV no more.
Yeah. They're saying the second season is rumored for Apple TV. I think he's talking about Lovecraft Country.
I haven't seen no deal or them talking about they bought it from them, because I would love it, but it's definitely going to be hard without Michael.
Oh, yeah.
Because he brought so much to that show. He's irreplaceable. I mean, unless they kill him off. Yeah, that part.
Right here. Oh, that's the one that Remy is on. That clip.
I thought Remy was in the Big 50. That was something different.
I think she's in that too. I don't know if she's in this, but I didn't know this if she's in this. But yeah, she's in, because she showed a clip on her Instagram. That acting was terrible. Terrible.
As much as I love Remy, she needs to get an acting coach and a dialect coach, because she talks how she raps, how she acts. And it's very New York. It's very hard, and it's very monotonous.
Let me tell you something. Queen Sugar is back. I've been watching it. Queen Sugar's back. Was there a new episode of Raising Kanan this week? Because it didn't come on last week.
I don't watch it. I didn't watch Power neither. I couldn't get into it.
Look at JB. Remy's a horrible Big 50.
I love Remy. I do, but she definitely needs an acting coach and a dialect coach.
Oh, they said Raising Canaan is done. How is it done?
Are they still making Ralph Angel cry over on Queen Sugar all the time, every episode?
They do not make him cry.
That's
Don't
why I had to stop watching it. It was like every episode that man is crying about something.
How did the last episode of Raising Canaan end?
You ain't watch it.
I did watch it, but I can't remember. It was like 2 weeks ago. Oh, they saying it's time for Tommy's chapter.
56 gonna eat stars up, child.
I think they were about to hide Canaan or something because I can't remember. I can't remember how that last episode ended. I thought they were going to kill old girl in the first season. The mother, his mother. That's right. He shot his father, and the father came back and said, and they asked, "Who shot you?" And it went off. That's right. And she sent Canaan out of town. That's right. Look at old Tate talking about Ralph ain't on my lap.
I know
He was on my lap.
He reminds
Now listen, you guys know I love Queen Sugar. I'm going to be honest with you. This season is a little lackluster to me. Now, you guys know I ride hard for Queen Sugar. I was talking about Queen Sugar when it first came on here. And some of you were like, that's kind of boring. It's kind of slow. But I really do kind of feel like this season has become so political in terms of like what's going on in the world that it's getting away from the storytelling of the characters on the show. Like, you know, the testing episode and the episode with the cop that pushed down Proctor, and like it's just becoming so much. Like, and it's just like, whew, my bangs. Like, I turn on TV because I want to kind of, you know, decompress. Girl, you can pull me back into the pandemic. And it's like every episode they got to have their mask on. Girl, we know y'all get tested for filming. Take them damn mask off. Like, I don't want to be trying to understand what you're saying up under the masks.
I was about to ask. What did I was about to ask you?
I'm like, Lord.
Oh. Dang, I want to ask you if you watched something.
Probably not.
I was, and I can't remember.
I didn't even know A Million Little Things came on, but I will start watching tonight.
I couldn't watch that.
Why?
It was too heavy.
A Million Little Things?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me get over here and watch this tonight.
That's the one where the friend committed suicide and the friends was
the first episode of the first season. Yeah.
I never made it past the first season.
That shit was good.
I mean, I believe it, but it was too heavy for me.
Between that and This Is Us, child, you better sign up for Betty Ford.
This Is Us already had me.
Yeah.
So I can't. And that's ending too. Like, goodness, all the shows are ending.
I Am God said, child, they even got commercials with folks wearing masks. Oh my God. I'm going to have to see if I can look. I wonder if the new episodes are on Hulu of A Million Little Things.
Have you watched the Miss Pat show?
I have not. But the clips that I've seen are funny, but I haven't seen it. Have you watched it?
I haven't. Because I feel like she just gonna yell every episode. I haven't finished May. I did start it, and I'm almost done with it. And it was good. It was giving me anxiety too.
I heard that this was good. When I was talking to Chef Jack earlier today in the grocery store, she was watching it when I called her. So I need to watch.
Ooh, baby.
They saying they love the Miss Pat show.
I did read her book. Her book is very interesting.
Child, they saying even in the porn movies they wearing masks. They ain't wearing condoms, but they wearing masks.
What porn you watching, Patty?
Oh, so y'all wearing masks, but y'all not wearing condoms?
Make sure you guys strap up. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. Anyway, but listen, I don't have anything else to say about these TV shows unless you want to add something else.
You're so stupid.
They ain't wearing condoms, but they wearing masks. Where's the prophylactics?
I don't understand it. I just don't understand it.
Anyway, listen, you guys have an amazing night. Brush your teeth, floss your teeth. I know a lot of you are off work tomorrow because it is a holiday.
Indigenous People Day.
There, I was Columbus. But yeah, so listen, you guys have an amazing night. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna have to watch Married at First Sight. I don't think I can get in there and watch it no more because somebody
Oh, I love the Upshaws. That was so funny to me.
Somebody took my cable privileges away. What, don't I have something of yours that I can log in to watch?
Yeah, my YouTube TV.
You got YouTube TV?
I told you that.
Girl, send me them credentials.
You got them. We had this discussion already.
Well, why I'm not logged in?
Because you didn't do it? Or you didn't do it right? One of the two.
All right, well, I'm gonna call you when I get off of here because I need to log in because I need to see Married at First Sight. Well, who's on the Upshaws?
Mike Epps, Wanda Sykes.
Oh my God, yes. Is there a new season?
Not yet.
That first season was fun. I knew I saw that. That shit is funny. I talked about that weeks ago. The Upshaws is funny as shit.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah, that shit is funny. I watched all that. I thought I told y'all the last time I was on a plane. Where was I going? I think, it was when Carlton and I went to Jamaica back in July. And we were seated separately. Long story. Baby, when I tell you I was sitting there laughing so hard, them people on the plane were looking at me. I had my ear. I was so damn tickled.
To your ass.
I was so tickled. But anyway, listen, you guys have an amazing night. Brush your teeth, floss your tongue. Don't forget to say your prayers. Get down on your knees and say your prayers. Don't forget your oil pulling as well. And listen, if you don't own my books, mosey on over to CraigTheWriterStewart.com and purchase your books. And then, yes, The Upshaws is on Netflix. And then I will sign them and ship those out tomorrow. Amen. You'll have them on Wednesday. Because we don't play over here. We run good Black business. All right. So you guys have an amazing night. Bye.
Good night.
Oh, wait. Tanya said, wait. What's up, Tanya? Tanya said, wait.
She said, hold up. Wait a minute.
Let me say thank you. Somebody sent me a cash app. Oh, I already said that. Dolores. Thank you, Dolores. Oil pulling is when you take coconut oil or grapeseed oil. Some people are allergic to coconut oil. And you put it in your mouth and you swish it around your mouth like mouthwash, but you have to do it for like 3, 4, 5 minutes. And it pulls impurities from your body, and it fights cavity and it fights plaque, is what I'm trying to say, and it whitens your teeth. So just Google oil pulling for teeth, and then it'll tell you how to do it. Thank you very much. Who was that just sent a cash up? Christine. Thank you, Christine.
Wait a minute.
We're trying to see what she's typing. She typing slow.
Did you watch Squid Games?
I tweeted the other day. I said, "What is this about? Is this worth my time?"
It is. It's good. I enjoyed it. It can get a little gory, but the story itself is good and interesting.
Look at Riri talking about our Uber is here. Come on, we gotta go. Gladys said, what type of coconut oil? It's cold pressed, unrefined, virgin, organic coconut oil. That's what you need. I was watching your latest video. Wait a minute. Paid for your say and was oil pulling at the same time. I had to stop because I was crying so hard. Aww. I'm glad you guys got a chance. I decided to upload the Paid for Your Say event on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't seen it, it's the last upload prior to this one. Take a look at it. Originally, it was just on my Patreon because I thought the music that was playing was going to give me a copyright strike, but then it didn't. So I decided to upload it and share it with you guys. And don't forget to go ahead and subscribe or sign up for Paid for Your Say. It's www.paidforyoursay.com. And you want to use promo code Craig175. It is scrolling at the bottom. Amen.
Amen.
Oil pulling is so good and it works for sensitive teeth. It does. Let me explain something to y'all. I need a root canal, and I didn't have the money at the time to get the root canal. But because I was oil pulling, it really did hold me over like a year or so until I was able to go and get that root canal. Amen. But that oil pulling is good for you. If you have a toothache, get you some coconut unrefined, cold pressed, virgin, organic coconut oil, and put it in your mouth and just gargle like every single day with it. It will definitely hold you over. All right. So listen, bye, y'all. We just said bye 5 times.
Okay.